Hey guys, how's it going? Rush here, and welcome back to an episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary. We've got some great matches for you guys lined up, as always, on the program. But before we start that program, I did want to throw out a challenge to you guys that was proposed over to by the Red Team Games over on our community Discord. If you don't already know, the team is promoting a newer Discord server. To share a bit more details on the upcoming sequel game, and to give you guys more direct news on, events happening in the sequel game. And the server's been growing steadily over the last month or so. It's currently sitting around 260, 270 members as of recording this video here. A few days ago, it was sort of thrown out to be, a challenge was thrown out to the community where, as you can see right here, if the server gets around 500 people, the server meaning the sequel server, then they'll be giving away a couple of keys to the alpha test. And what this means is that if we can get that server to 500 people, some people will have a chance to access the alpha client for the game. Currently, the only way that CNC2 is available right now is through alpha testing, and you at home could have a chance of jumping into this, all by joining the Discord server. I'll link the server down below to what the server that they're talking about here. Or if you're a member of the existing Discord server, a link to that is in our announcements channel. Feel free to join the sequel server here because, folks, if we get that 500 people, one or a few lucky people, I should say, may be getting themselves some early access into the alpha. So, with that being said, folks, I hope to see you on the Discord. But for now, let's go ahead and get into our matches here. Match number 1, jumping in right now. Alright, folks, and match number 1 is going to see SirSmart taking on Frankie here as a way to start us off. We've got the Warlock Viking going up against the Crusader Warlock here. Let's see what these guys bring to the table. As, may not be no interaction from the last roll like I originally anticipated here. We got the Luminaris to start off in hand, which could probably mean a Knight focus. And yeah, there is the Question Knight here ready to make his appearance on the board here, going to challenge the Salahar Rider. We'll see how the Knights work out. I mean, they're a deck that's kind of struggled over the last few years, but that's not to say they're not terrible. We'll see an early bolt onto the Flame Prince followed by the Question Knight going against the Rider here. Thankfully, castle damage is taken here, so we do get to keep that Question Knight on the board for just a little bit longer. Lumberjack, though, going to easily clean that up here, getting a draw for SirSmart here, so some good cycle. Although not much of a follow-up here in the pass back. A slow game for sure, but we'll see if the Knights can maybe take advantage now as Dwarf Paladin hits the board. That's going to prove fine, but not super impactful at this point. There's a Shaman for some additional draw for Smart. We'll see Frankie go with the Armory. In the meantime here, that Paladin going to be a little bit stronger here to take on the Shaman. Not bad. We'll see how Smart responds. You're going with the Spear Strike, so I imagine, as much as I don't like that play, I imagine he might have taken it just for the draw point of view. He's been cycling out a lot of turns recently, so it makes sense that he would use that primarily for the draw rather than the attack. But if he did, that's unfortunate considering Spear Strike is a pretty big attack buff, all to hit an extra 2 points of damage here. We'll follow up the Hassan City Guard, it looks like, so those boys making an appearance, and throwing it back to Frankie, who really doesn't have much, except Quest for the Holy Grail is a nice card to see and play. You really don't see this card much here, which is quite surprising, because considering it is 7 gold, I'm surprised no one has taken the route of, like, Quest for Holy Grail and to reanimate here, because, I mean, sure, we think of Rally as being the go-to reanimate card, because it is faster than Quest, but Quest works just as well, albeit a little bit slower than the Rally. But, I mean, hey, we'll see if we can use that later down the line here. We are going to Blue Firebolt that topmost guard here. Considering that there isn't much to do in the hand, and we are fearing a Lightning Blade on that Armory, it kind of makes sense on why he had to bolt it, although, again, a bit unfortunate. Meanwhile, Smart going to go ahead and do some more draw with that Shaman, making a second appearance on the board here. Frankie does go with the Quest here, which I think is the more correct play. You want to get some board presence. You want to get these bodies on the board now here. And we'll see how Smart responds to it. I think he has some options being in Warlock. We'll see a Horseman that's going to connect to that topmost Question Knight here. Horseman going to connect to finish it off. The Shaman going for the bottom Question Knight. Hassan into the Dwarven Paladin. all to set up a nice big reanimate here, so that's going to hit pretty impactfully. We get one of each. Horseman landing the roulette and killing off the Question Knight, which I think we didn't want to see. We are going to shotgun the Luminaris here, which I don't really agree with. It doesn't take out all the problems, and I mean, now you set yourself up for a bigger Lightning Blade here. I guess you're worried about the damage from Lightning Blade, but still, pretty risky to shotgun that Luminaris and get rid of your only AoE in hand at this point. And setting up defective Flame Cannon. Looks like SirSmart going for something maybe in the next turn as he puts a little damage onto that armory here. We're going to see the Horseman follow up here. Not going to take out the Wraith, unfortunately, here, but we are going to armor up. That is going to lead the Dwarven Paladin to connect into that as well. A bit awkward, the chain position here lined up, but, I mean, we're going to have to risk it. Flamestorm coming in. That's going to clean up a majority of Frankie's board, unfortunately, here. Taking out the armory, leading into a Horseman death. Same with the Paladin. And then we follow up with the Rat King. And here's what I was nervous about here. I think that's why we need to hold the Luminaris, because of these rats now making an appearance. Honestly, I mean, no one could predict that Rat King would be coming out that earlier on in the game. But, you know, I think a Luminaris here would be so much more valuable, especially with the Guardian in hand. You can run that in, do a big Luminaris burst, clear a lot of bodies out of the board here. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20. We'll see a Frog Prince at the board now. That is going to get a Flame Shield on top of it. Okay, so making it a little bit stronger to kind of survive a bit longer. That is completely fair here. We'll see what Smart does in response. Looks like we're going to start trading in some rats here. Rat number 2, rat number 3. I think the math actually works out to where Rat King can pop the resolve. Yeah, Rat King can pop. He is going to do that. Blacksmith to finish it off. Okay. Going for, okay, that's why we want another reanimate. Make that 2 reanimates as we're going to hit the Horseman connecting to the armory. Following up the Wraith here, we're going to run that all the way down here. Now it's going to start to get difficult for Frankie. He's got no resources coming into the hand as fast as SirSmart seems to put them out. And yeah, I mean, he's wasting 2 to 3 cards a turn just to clear off a little bit here. We cleared up the Wraith, thankfully, but we're still leaving the Banshee here. That could get some buffs in this next turn here. I mean, we've got a whole arsenal of cards to work with. Dragon's Fire against the Blacksmith. Seems a bit unnecessary, but okay, running a Grendel with the coin to follow up here. It seems like it's probably going to be game over, unfortunately, here for Frankie. There's not much I think he can do. Question that hits the board, that's, yeah, not going to do it. We're going to see the Horseman get traded away here. That's fine, but again, we don't have cleanup for this Grendel here. Smith coming down, L-Blade, okay, and that's going to be pretty much the game here. Grendel smacks for that big 12, and then even the Flame Cannon finishing it off. Okay, I guess kind of showing that even if we got rid of the Banshee, we still had our win, but overall, not really the best game for the Knights here to showcase. I think the Quest was a cool little addition. It's nice to see that card get flexed out every once in a while, but unfortunately it just wasn't his matchup here. I think all the drawing that Smart did earlier on kind of helped him build up his resources in the late game and kind of just powered through with all the undead from Reanimate to really make it worthwhile. So, unfortunately, it does happen, but again, congrats to SirSmart for taking that win. Let's go ahead and move on to Game 2, though, and see what we can see in that matchup here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright folks, in game number 2, we'll see Phatti taking on Captain Classic as the Druid Druid Crusader goes up against the Pirate Druid. Guys, I swear I know my colors as we jump into the matchup here. Gonna be an interesting one, considering that we don't see these colors too often here. Although, we can always get a general idea of what the color combinations might lead to. And so for this, I'm thinking potentially we're going to be seeing the scope range shenanigans, rampage out of green-white going up against the global spam of Druid Crusader, but we'll have to see. As we'll start off pretty standard. Getting out our Rat Hovel here, Captain going to hit the board, Flying Books for draw, Smith coming out, not trading for the repost. Again, so far standard stuff here. We'll see how this game though progresses. We're going to see the Elvish Thief hit the board here. That's going to block face. Going for the Sea Witch as well here. That could open up to a companion though. Got to be careful there. As I mentioned it, there it is. Spiny going to hit the board here, clearing out the Sea Witch here. Books making a retreat, going up against the rat at the bottom there. Again, we don't want to lose the books, it seems, this early on here. Seed's an interesting pull. We're going to play that for turn. over the wizard here. We're going to start getting some damage in. Cap's going to go ahead and take away 2. Moving up some of these rats as well, which not sure how I feel about that, but okay. We're going to try and maybe proc the books, not the books, the seed on a weaker unit here, but we're going to see the priest go ahead, remove the captain from the board here. Priest coming down, a second one that is Salhar Rider as well. Looks like we're going to be able to clean up quite effectively here. Books going into the Trent. Priest going into the bottom rat here. Although we can now trade this 1/1 into the flying books or the priest, whichever one we choose. I'm going to choose the books here to protect our cast a little bit here. Going for Serpent Witch and then following up with the wizard. Yep, just like I predicted. Or at least I would hope so, considering that we can play it. Armory, so we're going to start to see some more globals here from Phatti, going to hit the board. Salhar Rider to block here. We can go in with the wizard if we want to, but unfortunately we don't have the rampage, so we're not going to be able to really protect it and pull it back. So we're going to move the Serpent Witch out of the way here, connect with the wizard anyway, get damage dealt to the wizard, unfortunately. Hopefully that's not going to be able to really kill off the wizard here, but it looks like Banshee going to get played, Question Knight going to get played. Not going to be the case here. We're going to be able to protect the wizard here just a bit more. We're going to see the rat go into the Banshee here, the Serpent Witch as well. Would have liked to see that done a little bit differently, considering that we could have stunned the witch from up top here and let the rat kill off the Banshee while keeping that rat alive. Might have been an oversight, but still something to take note of. Wizard going to go ahead and connect the priest, it seems like, as well. Alright, going to put it in danger, but I guess we might have a plan to protect it. Morlock coming up as well. Alright. There's some rats again moving into position here. Let's see how Phatti clears the board here. Rat King, a good start for sure. That's going to do some phenomenal work here. The Rat King going to go ahead and get killed off by, or not kill. The Rat King will kill off the Serpent Witch here. Some rats going to go ahead and make some trades all around. The Question Knight going to go ahead and put himself into Mordok, generating that big Wraith early on. The Fortify coming in to put the Rat King up and negate that stun effect, so that way it can be more effective in the trading. Moving on, though, we're going to see some rat trades happen. Seems fair. Wraith connecting into the rat as well, knowing that Phatti does not have a Mystic Journey because we are not in Vikings. Going to opt for him to keep that upkeep on the Rat King. We'll see if we can make use out of it. Okay, Beastmaster, that's a good start here. Bold going into the Wraith with Beastmaster first, but I guess, you know, you want to be able to do a bit of fear manipulation in your favor, but still a bit risky. And then we'll see some beasts move up here, nothing too special. We are going to start to get some call for aids here. We'll see if those are going to get played, which looks like they are. That is going to be big here to start helping getting some big beef on the board. We'll see Northland's Ranger hit the board. Yep, there it goes. Up top to meet the Bear Hog, it seems like, which is fine. Meanwhile, Phatti going to go ahead and play out the Blacksmith. We are getting low on cards here. Want to make a note of that. These guys are more in like a top deck-esque war. We're not there yet, but we're certainly running low on resources. There's a second Ranger here, another call for aid. Again, all good things coming out from Classic now, and we're going to start to see him build a bit more offense for his side. Though a second Rat King might be, might have something to say, excuse me, about that. And actually, that's perfectly enough so the Bear Hog can work its way in and kill off the Cannoneer. Yep, there it goes. Gonna take that out really quick. Meanwhile, everything else kind of hanging back a bit here. Classic does have a bit of Rat Swarm working for him, and ooh, Fenrir is absolutely huge. Fat Bar gonna come down here. I would have liked to see, I mean, I get why we're gonna do the Fat Bar here anyway, but I don't know, I would like to see the Fat Bar get played later, because we could also make Fenrir a big sort of OTK potential here, or like, you know, a finishing kill. If we put in more than just 2 rats. But I guess you want to be efficient, you want to keep these bodies out, I get it. Hence why we're going to see some 2 rats trade. Moving in with the remaining rats, putting the Fenrir up as well here. Going to be tough for Phatti to block this all. Not sure if he's going to be able to. We're going to see some Blacksmiths make some moves here. Yep, Bradham Rat's going to go ahead and interact there. Beastmaster taking out the Ranger. Blacksmith up top, connecting to the rat there. Do we have anything else? Elvish Hunter. That's a decent block, but that's not what we're looking for. Classic can't actually remove that at the moment here. He needs some kind of... but Murder's going to do it. Murder will connect, kill off the Elvish Hunter, giving Classic the win for a very strong comeback-esque, like, I don't even know if it was comeback, to be honest. Yeah, I felt like both these guys started getting low around the same point, and then Classic just kind of pushed ahead because of the call for aids, which you never doubt the call for aids. Those are incredibly strong cards, producing those 2 cheap Rangers. Very scary, very dangerous. And yeah, congrats to Captain Classic for winning this matchup here. But that does leave us, folks, with one more match for the day here. What's going to happen in that match? Let's go ahead and find out. Match number 3 now underway as BK17 looking to take on eidra. The Crusader Warlock returns, this time facing off against a Ninja Crusader, so we'll see what happens on this game here. And, I mean, I already watched it, but you guys know I wouldn't be showing you if it wasn't something a little bit special here, as the replay is kind of not working. There it goes. Always have to get the little replay fix. It's okay. So we're going to start off here as a boring pass turn 1. That seems fine. But eidra pulling the Throne of the Emperor turn 2. We're going to establish that nice and early. So now our opponent knows we are playing the bounce strategy, which not a lot of people take on ladder. I'm curious to see how well this goes for our friend here. As we're getting into the books now here, turn 3. Yep, turn 3. To face down the Priest here. Although, swerving off to the side because we want that draw. Not going to get it, though, because the blue fire bolt hitting the board now, removing the flying books from play. Meanwhile, Priest taking a chip 3 to face. That is going to yield a Shaman out of eidra in response here. It's going to be able to trade with, or kill off the Priest, not trade. It's not dying after all. Get that 1 point of health more than the Priest attack power. So that is fantastic. BK, though, responds with a Shaman of his own that is going to look to attack this Shaman. We do have some options here, but eidra going to go ahead and play it a little passively this time and just throw out the Lord Mastarius, creating an awkward chain position, but hey, we're fine. No lightning in this faction combination, so no reason to worry about the positioning at the moment. Chaotic Storm, though, hitting the board, removing the Shaman from play, dealing 1 to Castle, 1 to the Throne here. Shaman taking another 2, bringing the total to 14. That is going to be quite the issue, especially going up against what probably is confirmed to be no interaction at this point here. We are going to see the Priest Kunoichi combination hit the board here. Priest getting the Shadow, not Shadow, Vanishing Strike on Priest. So that is going to bring the Priest back here, connecting, killing off the Shaman. And meanwhile, this Kunoichi now being able to sneak around the board here. Flamestorm will expose the position, but ultimately BK can't do anything about it here, so he's going to retreat the Darkbender, throwing up another Wizard on top of that. Here things get good, though. Earth Knight going to go ahead and hit the board here. The Priest will jump in. Shadow Slip, big Shadow Slip, going to go ahead and connect on the board here, making the Earth Knight 0 gold, the Kunoichi 1 gold, the Priest 0 gold, but more importantly, those stat lines, the juicy 3/7 Earth Knight, the 6/6 Kuno, and the 5/4 Priest. Not what Burn likes to see, considering that they have enough burn for, you know, nearly exact targets. Not exactly favorable, again, sort of buff strategy like this here. And now Kunoichi taking out the Darkbender, dissipating 1 Wizard of the 2 that were now on board. And then following up the Lore Master, plus another Earth Knight now hitting the board here. BK in quite a bit of trouble here. He is going to Dragon's Fire, but no units will be killed off by the Dragon's Fire. Opting to use the Wizard to connect to that Kunoichi, removing it from the board. Lumberjack against the Priest that was up top there. And now he's left with 2 Earth Knights. One still at 3/7, by the way, after a Dragon's Fire. And then both Earth Knights will use their combined might to connect and kill off the remaining Wizard on BK's board here. It's looking quite desperate for our friend here, but we'll see if BK can hold on. As eidra now powering up a Karasume in front of his castle, creating a 6/7 range unit. That should be pretty fun to look at as the rest of this game goes down the line here. We are going to see Blue Firebolt now, though, connect to the Earth Knight here. And actually, I want to take you back to that play here. Look at how much was needed to connect and kill off this Earth Knight here. So not only do we need the Lumberjack on board, we need the Drain Life on Lore Master to give our Lumberjack the additional 2/2 buff. On top of that, we need the Blue Fireball to pierce the armor to get our Lumberjack in killing distance. An incredible amount of cards going in, and just the Earth Knight producing incredible value for eidra. It's fantastic. You'll love to see it. Meanwhile, it looks like we are going to get the Monk now on the board here. Karasume connecting to the castle, which honestly I'm not the biggest fan of, considering that, you know, we could have lost Earth Knight before getting a chip in. Although choosing not to engage with Earth Knight here, we're going to pull it back here. I'm surprised we're not using the Vanish if we were worried about, you know, stat lines or something like that. Priest coming out on the board now, as well as another Wizard that is going to be a little bit of a not so great defense considering what's on this board. We're going to see an additional Throne here, more bounce potential in the hand of eidra here. And yeah, we're going to do Karasume bouncing the Earth Knight back, the Earth Knight coming down here. I'm not going to be surprised if he kills off the Taurus Files, which he's not going to, unfortunately here. He kind of just wants to push the hurt without giving BK more resources. Knows he can end it pretty soon here. Flamestone though coming out that is going to deal with the Taurus Files that will give BK some draw, however, not really doing a whole lot to clear the rest of the board here, as again, still a lot of powerhouse statted units still on the board here, and now I think we are not exactly in lethal range yet. We are pretty close though. The Earth Knight plus the Karasume, we're bringing the castle down to 2 here. Meanwhile, the 7/6 Priest taking another spin on the board here. That is going to return the Monk back to hand. Shaman coming down now. Another Shadow Slip, hitting the board. This is going to return the Karasume, bringing that up to a 7/8. Earth Knight hitting the board as a 5/8, and the Priest essentially giving the Earth Knight and Karasume that extra point here. A 7/9 Karasume and a 5/9 Earth Knight. Incredible, incredible stuff here. Arbiter going to come the board. That is kind of needed at this point, but even then, Arbiter connecting the face here, dealing 4 damage to the face, not being able to kill, as too much power from either side of the board here. Karasume going to land for 7, Earth Knight for 5 here, and that, folks, will end off an incredible display of power by the Bounds deck here. Fantastic stuff, especially the Earth Knight. I love the Earth Knight inclusion here. It just works so well, especially with the regenerating armor. If that thing becomes bigger, it becomes very, very tricky to deal with. So props to eidra for using that well here and getting the win in game number 3. Fantastic stuff overall. But with that being said, folks, we do have to approach the end of the video here, as it was our 3rd and final game of the day. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and close out this video. Alright, folks, with that being said, that is going to do it for this episode of TV Commentary. If you guys did enjoy the matches, be sure to let me know your thoughts by leaving them down in the comment section below, as well as liking the video if you enjoyed it, share with your friends, and of course subscribe if you're new or haven't done so already. It's the best way you can show your support to the channel here and help us grow, folks. We're getting ever so closer to the 1K, less than 100 subs away. It'd be fantastic if we can hit that. I'm hoping that we can, but you know, if you can subscribe, folks, that's all I ask. So yeah, with that being said, oh, right, Discord. Make sure to join that Discord server down below as well. It'll be the first link in the description here. Joining that server, remember, can get you some early access alpha testing privileges, so be sure to join. And yeah, with that being said, I think that covers it, right? Yeah, so with that being said, guys, until next time, stay gaming.